Hi guys, welcome to Old Guys and New Guitars. My name is Rex Anderson and we are still up in the big sky country of Montana. We'll be hitting the road here in a few days, meandering back to Phoenix. I just thought I'd take the opportunity here to put a little intro video into today's video about the Hils Headless guitars. Over the last week or so, I've had a lot of people comment about this, both on through emails and such, and also with my friends talking to them, the guitar players and some other YouTubers. And it seems like headless guitars really brings out a thought of either you love them or you hate them. And so I thought that that's interesting. And I thought I'd talk a little bit about sort of my theory on what's going on and to whether people enjoy certain guitars. I think when I look back to when I was a young person, I think the decisions that a young person makes to become a guitar player has lots of different influences. I think initially your family, your friends, are there instruments in the house that you grow with up with at a small age? I think that can influence your decision. But I think the other main influence is the types of artists that you listen to. For me, kind of throwing back to artists that were no longer around, Eddie Cochran and Buddy Holly from the 1950s, and then moving into the 60s, obviously, with the Beatles and their impact. Even though most of that early impact of the Beatles, I really wasn't around to understand that. I was just a little kid at that point in time. So for me, it really started in the late 60s and 70s, and certainly acoustic guitars with James Taylor and Cat Stevens and those types of artists. As we moved into the 70s, I still remember seeing that cover of Bruce Springsteen with that Telecaster on the cover, thinking, what is that? That is a cool looking guitar. And then, of course, Tom Petty and the Rickenbackers. So I think a lot of times as a young person, we're influenced by the music that we're listening to, and we kind of imprint on those guitars. The limitation that we have as young people, obviously, is the budget. We don't have the money to go out and buy a new Gibson or to buy a new American-made Stratocaster or Telecaster. And so because of that, we move to kind of off brands when we're starting out, but they're always in the back of our mind. And so for me, I think as a guitar player gets older and now their economic circumstances change and they move into their 40s, suddenly they're kind of looking back and thinking what guitars were around when they were younger that they can maybe now have access to. And certainly in the 1990s, when all the offsets and all the grunge stuff coming out of Seattle, I was busy working at that point in time. So I wasn't really even consuming guitars. But when I did start buying guitars in the late 90s, I'd say, adding to my collection at that point, I was looking back to those traditional guitars that influenced me when I was a kid. So I think something else happens as you move through your 40s and into your 50s, now into my 70s. I think you can move in a couple of different directions. You can stay within that realm that you love of the music that you liked when you're a young person and kind of just enjoy that. Or you can start expanding out and maybe listening to music that you haven't been exposed to. And that's the advantage of growing old, is you get the opportunity to have more exposure and more opportunities to listen to other artists and see other types of guitars that come into your scope of vision now. And the other thing that happens for me as I approach my 70s, you start to realize that you may not have those 10,000 hours of blocks left that you always assumed would be there to become an expert at something or to become really knowledgeable on something. And so it kind of becomes freeing because you say, well, look, I may not have time to do everything, but I might as well try as much as I can. And so for me, buying off-brand guitars like a Revolta is a good example. To me, that guitar, something just grabbed me. I mean, it was sort of the retro styling of the guitar, but it wasn't exactly like every other guitar that I'd seen before. And certainly the playability and the tone really grabbed my attention. And that's what's happening for me today on these headless guitars. They're just really wonderful guitars. Not only do they play and feel and sound really, really good, they harken back, particularly this one here that you'll see in today's video harkens back to a guitar from the 1950s, but it's got a lot of things on it for a fairly simple guitar that are pretty advanced. And so one of the questions that one of my friends raised, is this just a fad, these headless guitars, or is it doing enough that it will impact and stay around? And so I've been doing a lot of research on these things. I watched some really nice videos on Ned Steinberger, and I think we'll bring in Kerry with his Steinberger guitars because he's been playing those for 25 years now, both the bass and the guitar. And the technology involved, we'd already explored some of the Parker guitars, and now with Hils guitars, we're looking at, well, why do we have a headstock on here? What's the purpose of this thing? Can we achieve the same thing by doing something a little bit different? So that's my theory. I'd like to hear from you and what you're thinking. As you grow older, do you find yourself kind of staying in that comfort zone where you were when you were a kid? I mean, if you were a Hank Marvin fan and you imprinted on that red Stratocaster, then that's where you're still at today? Or are you also exploring other things, maybe trying other types of guitars? Or do you find that over time, sometimes it changes on you? For a while, you're into one style and now you're moving to another one. Because for me, I'm just finding it all very fascinating. And I think that even though when I was a kid, or much younger, I would be hard pressed to go out and buy a headless guitar for a couple of reasons. One, the artists I was looking at weren't playing it at that point in time, but more importantly, they were financially out of my realm. Look at the early Steinbergers, and those are thousands of dollars of guitars back then, and certainly I wasn't looking at that kind of a budget. The first nice T-style guitar I got was a G&L ASAT, and that was somewhere under near the $400 mark, I think, for that one. So for me, the change of the economy for people interested in guitars is really different today. Young people do have a guitar like this where you can go out and experiment and not be breaking the budget for it. So I think it's a really a great opportunity. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoy the video, and we will check back in with you as we make our way back to Phoenix in the next week or so. Talk to you later. Thanks for tuning in. Hi, guys. Welcome back to Old Guys and New Guitars. My name is Rex Anderson, and this is my friend Kerry Jackson, and we are here to look at a new guitar today. And for us, it's a very special day because it is an absolutely brand new guitar. A lot of times we're looking at guitars that we've had in our collections for many years or that Kerry's played around the world. And today we are looking at a guitar that Ron over at Hils America sent over to us. And it was really kind of them to do this and to let us just check out the guitar. We may take it on the road this summer and kind of share it as we visit with musicians and music shops and gear shops around the country. But this is a guitar that Kerry's probably seen a photo of, but I'm sure he hasn't had a chance to put one in his hands and give it a play. So we'll start by just opening up the case and seeing what he thinks about it.
Oh yeah.
All right.
Sweet.
I'm just gonna turn this case around for a minute and say that Hils always seems to do a good job of having good solid cases, soft cases for their guitars, and they've got a little neck rest built into that one. It's nice and thick. I love the size of these cases. They're pretty small. You can, I think these will fit in an overhead on a plane, but if you had to check it at the gate, it's pretty well protected. I noticed that this case wasn't really much taller than the HN5 case that we did about a year ago. And that was our first episode of Old Guys New Guitars. So it's kind of nice that we've come full circle now, and we get to take a look at this new Hils guitar after having looked at the Hils HNS1, which was their S-style guitar with two single coils and a humbucker in it. But before we plug it in and tune it up, I'll just have Kerry kind of react to the guitar itself and tell me what you're thinking about it.
Well, I was very excited to see it when I opened it up. First of all, interesting finish, pretty. Is that the same as this?
Same color.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is the ruby red finish.
Ruby
So
red.
it's the same as the S style that we looked at.
But it's that low key red with it has an iridescent quality, but it's like a matte finish, so it's really subtle. Anyway, Hils tele, couldn't be more excited about the idea. People see these headless guitars and think they're so high tech and stuff, so I get a kick out of one like this, which is taking a total 1951 guitar and applying it to what works about a Hils, which is really solid, well-made neck, really solid, beautiful bolt-on, sturdy body, really solid bridge, super well-made, very adjustable bridge, and yet just a classic tele pickups, 3-position tele switch, volume knob right where I like it because you can play it. Looks like a single baseball bat piece of maple for a neck. Is that a C?
So this one is also a C shape, but you'll notice it feels a little fatter than the S style, doesn't it?
A little rounder C, maybe?
Yeah, a little deeper on it. So
it's a different font of C.
Yeah, it's the same material for the body, Indonesian mahogany body. And we talked about the ruby red finish on it. It's got the hard maple neck, which the S style also had, but this one's got a maple fretboard on it and instead of the dark fretboard on it. 25.5 inch radius. 25.5 inch scale, I'm sorry.
Scale, yeah.
And then it's got one of these spoke nut type double action adjustments where you put the little rod in there and just
the
make
truss
the
rod
adjustment.
adjustments are very easy. You don't have to remove anything, just
I like that. Boy, there can be some improvement even to a T-style guitar, can't there?
Yeah.
And that is one of them. And then 22 stainless steel frets. Once again, I think that's kind of sets Hils ahead of some of the other guitar manufacturers by putting stainless steel frets on there to start with.
Yeah, and the stainless steel frets just generally show up on guitars that cost twice as much as this and up.
Yeah.
I don't even know what this costs yet, but I'll bet it's amazing.
Well, this one, we're in May of 2026, so prices can change over time. I'm sure these will go up. Right now, it's currently in the $500 range in there. And it also has a compound radius going from 12 inches up to 15.75 on it.
I love the compound radius.
So that's kind of nifty. A PPS nut, not sure exactly what that is. It's got inlay of dots on the neck. We've got the dual locking headpiece at the top that locks in the strings. There's two little Allen key screws there for each string to tighten those down. Let's see, what else do we have? Configuration, we've got single coil, one volume, one tone, and a 3-way switch. And the neck pickup is an Alnico 5 chrome covered single coil, and the bridge is a Alnico 5 open type single coil. Yeah. The 6-saddle hardtail bridge. And this came, this still has the original strings. This, Kerry, you're getting a reaction to this one right out of the box. Okay. I haven't done any setup on this one. Just some tuning on it is about all I've done. And it comes with that deluxe case. So I did measure the string height on this, and it was down in that 2-ish range, 175, 2. It might be able to come down a little bit lower, but it wasn't too bad for a starting place.
Oh boy. Well, you want to hear this baby tele out? Should we?
Yeah.
By the way, like we mentioned with the other Hils, see the cord goes right in there, very convenient. It doesn't have to be an L-shaped cord, but I do like it with an L-shaped cord, like Rex was saying earlier. That makes it easy. You don't have to unplug it to set it down on its very convenient rubber feet, which makes it easy to set down if you got to do it in a hurry.
Oh, while we have it out, let me just do a little comparison of the body size. This is the HN5. So if you hold that up there, you can see that once again, it's a little bigger body. It's got a little more weight to it than this one, although this one has the trem system in it, and it's got the humbucker, so there's probably a little bit of weight added to that. But this was down in the 4.5 range.
It's kind of cool to see with this because now I realize how much they Telecastered out with the shape here.
Yeah.
And here too.
Yeah.
It's not a true Telecaster horn, but
maybe turn that around and show it the other way there.
But if Hils and Fender had a baby,
kind of see the
it would come out like this.
Yeah. And then what I might also do, let me grab the S model while we have it sitting over here, and kind of show you the two side by side.
Yeah.
So you can really see the difference between
Strat
the
and
two
the tele.
bodies. Yeah. Very different looking guitars.
So I'm telling you, and for this kind of price range, if you got yourself a $500-ish Strat at a $500-ish tele,
let's show the backs there.
These things are monstrously solid.
Yeah, there we go. These are brand new models. They just got these in last month and are now distributing them around the United States. We're dealing with Hils America back in Indiana, and they were kind enough to send that one over to us. So I've got to disclose that it didn't cost us anything for this guitar to take a look at it. We'll send it back to them when we're done. Unless one of us falls in love with us and decides that we have to have it. This one they gave me a nice discount on, so that was really nice of them. So I want to disclose. I disclosed that when I did the video on this. But this new one, they both came the same day, and we're planning on taking them around the country and getting some reactions to them, just because it's fun to do.
Yeah. Rex leaves the hot Phoenix Valley during the summer and goes and has fun with his lovely wife around the country, and he makes it a musical trip too. So he's going to have these Hils along with him, go to music stores, just let people try them out. Thing about Hils is I can imagine a lot of people going, man, I don't know, I don't like these things with the no headstock. That's not even a real guitar to me. I mean, and then about 5 minutes after trying it, well, it really plays good. It stays in tune, and it sounds exactly like a Telecaster. So I could just see it spreading a lot of goodwill.
Well, what I found with the Hils that I've had up to this point, it's been a nice one to have on the couch. And it's so funny, Carrie, you just mentioned to me watching one of the British detective series and how hooked you became on the little theme song and sit there and play it on your guitar. So now I'm thinking, oh man, I need to do that. I need to play along with the theme song. Oh, there we go. Nice.
That's it. Anyway,
so we will
probably copyright, can't play it.
Yeah, we'll go ahead and get this guitar plugged in, tuned up, and we'll come back and see what it sounds like. Okay, guys. Well, we are back. We have the Hils HN1T all hooked in to the system and tuned up. And so we'll put it through its paces. Now what we're doing today is we're running this guitar into an old GT30 because someone forgot to bring their power supply for their current pedal.
GT3 even.
And GT3, yeah, I said GT5. GT3, so even older. And we're going to be running the signal and splitting it into a Princeton Reverb and to a Vox AC10. So we'll see what this T-style guitar sounds like.
First, there's two of them, and they're simple. Couldn't get simpler than an old Tele. And why have you seen a trillion Teles played? There's a reason, because these two pickups can do anything. That, of course, is our bright bridge all by itself, clean. Twang. And then the two of them, very pretty. A lot of possibilities with that.
Wow, definitely has that twangy tone to it, doesn't it? Wow.
Classic, huh? So that was still, yeah, that's that pickup. Let's hear that neck.
Wow.
Can really be
You know-
pretty. Now this hadn't been set up either, right?
No setup. This is straight out of the box.
Right out of the box, so
Yeah.
pretty good for that. I wouldn't mind the action a tiny bit lower and stuff, but still, they ship them to you nice, you know, like they're ready to go. If I was going to tweak it, I'd lower it just
Yeah.
micro.
A little bit. You know, I'm thinking as I'm hearing that front pickup, I'm thinking about the what was it, the Squire thin line Telecaster that surprised us with the front pickup.
Yeah.
This one
It had a whole
is
different
is
thing.
is mellow, but it's pretty
But
detailed.
it's got some punch to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because some of the tele, as we've talked about on other tele things, tele neck pickups can be just barely there sometimes, and other times, oh, that's a nice one. Yeah, this one's got some oomph to it, and it's still pretty and mellow. Happens in the middle one. So. That's a middle. That's pretty
Yeah.
wild. Yeah.
So tell me about this one too, in the different position on the legs.
Yeah,
See
yeah.
what you're feeling like.
Yeah, we like on the Hils, you got the two choices of the
Yeah, instead of playing everything down all the time.
the horizontal. But sometimes when you're sitting, oh, there it is. It's right there in my face. You know, there's a weird thing for us old guys in the 70s. People got it in their heads that Les Pauls were the rock and roll guitars and Telecasters and Stratocasters were the country guitars. Don't know why that happened, but it happened. Now, the Telecasters are fantastic country guitars, and that's one of the reasons you'll see them on lots of twangy country stuff, but they're just great all-around guitars. And back when I was a kid and the first Led Zeppelin albums were coming out, it wasn't like now where there's a billion pictures of everybody and all the social media and stuff. So the only pictures any kids saw of Jimmy Page in like 1972 or whatever, he's got a low slinging Les Paul around his neck. And that's what he was playing in concert. Now, first of all, they didn't know that his Les Paul was custom wired, so half the time he was playing in single coil mode on his Les Paul. So he, even half the time on his Les Paul, he wasn't using humbuckers. But they didn't know that Led Zeppelin 1 and 2, the classic screaming rock albums and Dazed and Confused, Good Times, Bad Times, all that, was all on tele.
Wow.
There's not a Les Paul lick on those albums. And it's funny because, like back in the day, if you showed some kid Jimmy Page's tele, he'd go, I don't want that. You can't play rock on that. You know. So funny. I think people got it in their heads that two coils meant more, that it rocked, that it was punchy. You don't just want single coil sounds. Yeah. And that's so funny because they didn't know about Page, for one thing. And another thing they weren't considering, remember Jimi Hendrix and all of the Stratocasters? Do you think he got any distortion once in a while? So anyway, funny how that got going. I wish I would have known at the time, because in those days you'd go on pawn shops and it would say, you know, 1960 Telecaster, $200 and stuff. You know, because nobody, rock and roll kids didn't want them. You know, it's like, oh man. Listen to that, man. That action's a little high, so that's a little hard to do, but listen to all that sustain I was getting even at that. If that was a tiny bit lower, that would be sustained all night long.
Wow.
Man. How many sounds you want from two pickups, huh? It's really good at being pretty and mellow. And can get real acoustic-y in the middle there. It's like a real tele that can just sound like anything.
Carrie, you're in a studio, and let's just say your strings broke on the other guitar, and you don't have much time left, and there's these two guitars sitting there. Which one do you reach for? This one or this one? The simplicity and the combination?
There's always something about a tele whenever you play a good one that it's like, man, these two pickups and the world is at your fingertips, because they just drive everything great. And we really thought about the Strat too, because that particular Strat has 4 settings that are single coil accurate Strat sounds, and then the 5th setting is that humbucker, and you can totally sound like an SG or a Les Paul or something. So you got a lot of stuff covered with that one guitar. And then teles have a way of doing it too, with just the 2 pickups of, you know, I know that it can be the twang king and the country king and the clean sound, but it's also, as you can hear, just rocks as hard as anything can rock. So squeals.
So for me, I like the variation here because I do have a couple really nice teles, and I like playing those. But I don't have as many Strat style, and I like that.
Well-
but I will say that naturally my hand feels more comfortable on the neck of that one. I feel like that one's a little bit
chunkier.
Chunkier. Yeah.
Kind of good. Yeah.
Yeah.
That one's
I
good
don't know
though.
if you can kind of feel the two differences there, but yeah. Just,
Yeah.
Just a little bit.
But this one isn't too modern and flat
No,
either.
no,
It's pretty
no.
nice. Boy.
All right, well, there you are, guys. That is the new Hils HNT1. And this is a brand new guitar for them. It just came in last month, and they're shipping it all around the United States.
And it does that good.
So I think we're going to try to put some graphite lubricant in here to make these a little bit easier to turn. I will say that's the only negative that has popped up for me,
Yeah.
is those are a little bit stiff on turning and on both guitars. That
Out of the
we
box,
looked at.
anyway.
Yeah. So we're going to try to see if we can improve that a little bit with some lubricant on there. Otherwise, boy, I think we both feel really strongly about these guitars, that they're well worth it, particularly in that 500-ish price point range. I don't know how you could go wrong if you're kind of, maybe you're a guy who really loves the history of Fender and the guitars that they made, but maybe there's something that's making you say, is there anything else that I could do as an alternative to Fender that might be new and different? I think both of these answer that question.
Well, and we all love Fender, but like the only ones I really love to play are very custom shop, amazing rarity. Oh, this is a good one, and they all cost multiple times as much as this. And I'm telling you, if someone asked me to come in and do sessions, and I brought this in for a tele, and it was all set up, and I had all my sounds dialed in and everything, nobody's going to hear those records later and go, well, why didn't he bring a real guitar? Right? I mean, it is a real guitar for that kind of money. Remember when Rex and I were kids, and money was worth 10 times what it is now, you couldn't get any good guitars for like $400 or $500. It was hard. You might find a used thing for that much, and you scored and you lucked out. But as far as new guitars, list price and stuff, even way back then, when $300-400 bought you the world, it didn't buy you a great guitar.
Well, even in the 1980s, I think the first nice guitar that I bought was a G&L ASAT, ASAT, and I just stumbled across the receipt for that, and I paid $472 for that guitar at that time, and that was considered a more budget choice.
That was a budget price then.
Than the Fender that was available at the time.
Yeah.
And that guitar I really enjoyed, and it led me on down the road to what's called a Comanche guitar from G&L.
Yeah,
But
which we did a show
I'm
with.
really happy and pleased with these things. I'll get the tuning thing sorted out, and maybe if you guys have some Hils and you have any suggestions for tuning solutions that can make this a little bit more smooth. But once you've got it dialed in, Boy, I'm liking the tones
Yeah.
that we're hearing and feeling on the neck, and yeah.
Both of them. I see their whole concept. You know, hey, if you want a killer Strat, I'm telling you, this will sound just like a Strat and make you happy, and it does. And if you want a killer Tele, same thing. And for me, with the name brand of Tele and stuff, it's hard to get ones that feel that solid and you love the pickups and all that stuff for anywhere near this kind of money. You know, there's a lot of great Teles, but maybe it's just my taste, but you know, oh, I like that $2,500 one. You know, our friend Dave has a custom shop Tele.
Oh, yeah.
That's like my favorite guitar in the world. But that thing listed for, you know, the $5,500 whatever,
Yeah.
and was handmade and stuff. And it's a masterpiece. It's wonderful. But recording, making stuff sound good, playing gigs, having fun, getting the job done, these things are pro guitars in disguise, you know. And those of you that don't like Headless or just fooled by, you know, "Oh, what kind of gimmick is that?" You know, take it from an old guy. Not a gimmick, a real guitar. Very good
So
one.
if you see me traveling this summer and you happen to be in a music shop that I'm in, and just feel free to ask me if I've got the Hils guitar with me, and I'd be glad to share it with you and have you check it out. But for the moment, guys, thank you all for tuning in. Please like and subscribe to our channel. It's growing slowly. We're now over a year into this, and we have, I don't know, something like 24, 25 videos out. So every 2 weeks, we try to put a new video out. And we've got a lot of interesting instruments coming up to share with you. So thanks for tuning in. And yeah, we highly recommend giving these a shot, or if you have a chance to try one, to give it a try.
Yeah, rock and roll.
Yeah, thanks, guys. We'll see you next time. Thanks for tuning in. Bye now.